Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
I have a question this morning. This is one that you can mull over for the rest of the day while you're working or driving. How can the federal government ask U.S. citizens to pay back student loans when illegal aliens are receiving a free education? Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot. Come on, call in with the Pledge of Allegiance on a Thursday. Morning. Oh, good morning, Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch on a Thursday, and a beautiful day it is with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, saying come on in here to see one of us. If you're going on a road trip, we've got all the tires for your safe driving. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's have a patriot on the phone for our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done, my dear friend. Thank you for calling in. And right now, we're going to head for the weather forecast. And the weather brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 West of Hayburn with Roger and the crew. Thank you on the Burley Paul Highway. They've got all the rentals of the best tools and equipment you might need to finish any construction project. Or for that matter, maybe you need to work outside on the lawn, mowers, seeding equipment, rototillers, everything at K&R Rental. Easy to find on the Burley Paul Highway. Number to call 678-3122. Right now, here's Scotty with the weather.
No reprieve from the heat. Good morning with your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron. Sunny for today. Going to see a high around 89. Wind will be calming down, however. Clear skies for tonight with a low of 53. Sunny and 91 on Friday. Friday night going to be mostly clear, a low of 55. Warming up just a bit on Saturday. Sunshine and 95. Partly cloudy for Saturday night, a low of 60. And then for Sunday, sunny, a high of 92. As we come back to work on Monday, we'll see sunny skies and a high of 92 as well. That is your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron. Have a great day.
Scotty, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Sounds like a nice summer forecast. K&R Rental with Roger and the crew. They get there early in the morning at 7 a.m., throw open the doors, and they're there to serve you. Get a hold of them for more information about their available tools and equipment at 678-3122. K&R Rental on the Burley Paul Highway. You stop in and see them today. Merv May, let's sell some cattle. Come on in here.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5.
Well, he's faded out in the distance. I don't know what happened there all of a sudden, but I'll tell you what, Merv May and the Burley Livestock Sale Yard today, sale day, starting at 10:30. Don't forget Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy, all there at the sale that works for you. 10:30 starting time. time, and they're going to have a lot of butcher cows coming in this morning from Acme Dairy, TLK Dairy, Funk Dairy, Antelope Hills Dairy, and then a great big line of trailer line coming in of cattle all over the valley. So don't forget the trailer line run. Sale starting at 10:30 this morning at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call for sale, information, and cattle consignment, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and I sell them $1.35. Zeb Mel, get the bottom again.
Merv, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Beautiful day outside. And a lot of things to talk about. Whoa. I'm not going to pull any punches this morning. I've got some groups and some personalities and people that we're going to point our finger at and go after this morning on the program. First and foremost, what I want to talk about is the very successful trip over to Europe for the NATO meetings with Donald Trump. Now, I'm just going to say this morning, and then I'm going to take a commercial break and wait for your calls. With all of his character flaws, and by the way, the last time I looked, we all have character flaws, and Donald Trump is our president. So let's be really honest about something this morning. To all you liberal loons and Democrats and everything, we, the United States, are in a much better economic and security picture right now. We're in a better location than we have been in years, thanks to the idiocy and incompetency of the Obama administration and previous administrations. The only ones who can't and won't say that are the haters that want only failure from Trump and his administration. And the Democrats, let's call it like it is, they cannot stomach any of Trump's successes, of which they are many and more this morning. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to remind you, too, about Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call is 678-0459, and they're open at 7:30 in the morning till 5, Monday through Friday, for all, this isn't brag, this is a fact, all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. Yes, they can handle the job with the most professional people serving you. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Don't forget, also our friends at Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley. My. We're going to have our next Zeb's Lunch Bunch over there on July 26th. Don't forget that Denny's Restaurant is America's Diner. What a great menu. Excuse me, I almost choked to death. What a great menu, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, anytime, all the time. You stop in with your family and friends, excellent food, super service for you, and they are the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. On the 26th, our next meeting at 11:30, Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. Donald Trump is performing miracles out there, and the next miracle that's going to be in his favor, and I hope it happens soon, is this border thing.
Yeah.
I believe Netherlands is the country that's being overrun by Muslims, and the Muslims are telling the native people that have been born and raised there that if they don't like the Muslims, they can leave their country.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if that border isn't closed here, we're going to have the same problem here.
No question about it. I'm not going to pull any punches for anybody. You know, there's people that say, oh, and Wheels, the feedback is terrible, please. There are people that have called me and they've criticized me, even as far back east as Chicago. People that listen to this program are criticizing me as a right-winger, and I'm a strong right-winger, I'm a conservative, and they condemn me. I don't care, Tony. We're going to tell it like it is. President President Trump went to the NATO summit. He stood a lot of these people and their leaders on their ear, let them know they weren't contributing their fair share. The United States is not going to be their bank to bankroll the entire thing. Pay up or get out, and that's the attitude that's been needed for a long time. Period. End of story.
I think this problem goes back to World War I, wasn't it? People owed us money for all these World War I, II, III, and all that, and none of them has paid the money back.
Well, it's true, and we've been the bankroller, if you will, in that terminology, for almost everybody else. And John Kerry and Chuck Schumer and all the Democrats, they are out there like mice scurrying for their holes right now because they could not and would not do and get the job done. They failed, and they are complete failures. And I salute Donald Trump and his administration for looking at people in the eye and saying, pay up or shut up.
He's got the right idea, and the millions of us are out there that want him back for another term, another 4 years.
You got it. I'm not saying the guy's a saint. You're not a saint. I'm not a saint. Nobody is. But I'm sick and tired of the criticism of somebody that's absolutely getting things done for us, the United States, instead of capitulating and doing it for everyone else.
Well, the ones that are complaining are the ones that have been the biggest failures.
Well, you have hit that on the head. You know what? You and we ought to run for office. You can be the president, I'll be the vice president, or we'll switch back and forth. I don't care. But we've got it figured out, Tony. Thank you much.
I'd make waves.
All right. Thank you, all right, buddy. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Why are we so worried about hurting somebody's feelings? Honestly, answer that question. Why are we so worried about hurting somebody else's feelings when they're not paying their fair share? We give them a lot of aid in the form of financial resources. Why are we worried about hurting somebody's feelings if they're not toting the bill and taking care of their fair share? Call me on that. I don't understand. Don't forget Dino Septic Service. Oh, boy, they take care of the problems. That's right. Septic tanks that need to be pumped and liquid waste removal, sewer and sink drain lines cleaned. Oh, my goodness. Water and sewer lines installed, backhoe service. All of this and so much more with Dino Septic Service. And the number to call, 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. Yes, sir, they do the job we don't want to do. Call them today. They'll show up there with that big truck that says smells cargo on the way to serve you. Dino's Septic Service. Really, really good people. By the way, too, I want to remind you that Pomerell Place with our dear friend Holly, they're going to have a health fair on July 18th from 8 to noon. Now, please put this on your calendar. This is going to be a nice deal. They're going to have a lot of gifts to give away. They're going to have a lot of vendors. They're going to have Cassia Regional doing the blood drawing. This is a health fair for you at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. The number to call, 677-8212. Of course, Pomerell Place, a place for senior living, and this big health fair on the 18th. Don't you miss it. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, I watched the press conference this morning with President Trump after the NATO meetings. It was on at 4:30 this morning. That's a half hour after I got up. I listened to every bit of it, every question, everything. And you can hear in the audience a lot of the rippling effect of, the undercurrent of their questions like, gee, we hope you fail, Mr. Trump, and those questions kind of leading in that direction. Well, he's not. He's not failing. The press conference was excellent. President Trump did an excellent job of representing our country and answering the questions. Now he goes to the United Kingdom, and the Mayor Khan of London, a lowlife, a lowlife, is allowing that great big, kind of a balloon, if you will, that looks like a baby Trump. It's a huge thing. I guess it's about 19 and a half feet long, and I don't know how wide and everything. They're going to fly that over the city when he lands in kind of a show of, we don't like you, President Trump. That's disgusting. Khan is a Muslim, by the way, mayor of London, and he's causing a lot of problems over there. Well, he goes to the UK and spends time there, and then he goes to meet with Vladimir Putin of Russia. Now, I'm just telling you, folks, I am encouraged by these meetings. I am encouraged by what could come out, and I'm encouraged in the straightforward eye-to-eye contact of President Trump saying this is the way it's going to be, take it or leave it. And the Democrats, how can they argue with the success of what's going on in the world today with Trump? NATO's signees came out and said, yes, we'll pay more money, as to the tune of $35 billion more in commitment. How can they argue this? All they can do is hate. It is a party of hate. It's a party of socialism and leftism. How can you support the Democrats? I hope you can't. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. And I love these people over there because they are so conscientious and they are so caring and knowledgeable. Nick Greenwell, physical therapist, and all the physical therapists. They really know all the exercises. They know everything to help you get back to being you. And they have that only hydrotherapy pool around in southern Idaho. Man, that is so good for the muscles. So good to recoup and get back on track. Absolutely, I urge you to call today for an appointment at 678-1191. 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. They can and they will help you get back to being you. Let's have a good word from the Silver State Stampede and take some more calls. Wheels?
PRCA Rodeo Action thunders into Elko, July 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Elko County Fairgrounds. 3 big days for the 2018 Silver State Stampede. Nevada's oldest rodeo is family entertainment at its finest. This PRCA rodeo brings you the thrill of pro riders going head-to-head in one of the toughest sports in the world. Action kicks off Friday, July 13th with mutton busting, a delicious tri-tip dinner, the Calcutta, Old West bronc riding, PRCA rodeo action, the world-famous Ring of Fear, and dancing to the Jeff Palmer Band. Gates open on Friday and Saturday at 4 with mutton busting starting at 6 and rodeo action starting at 7. And on Sunday, gates open at noon with mutton busting at 1 and the rodeo action starting at 2. Tickets on sale now at the Boot Barn and the Elko Chamber Office. Rodeo action at its finest. With the 2018 Silver State Stampede, July 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Elko County Fairgrounds. For more information, contact silverstatestampede.com.
Thank you very much. Wheels, turn on your microphone. I noticed a little crackle. Is it worth trying another line, or what's the status?
We can definitely try another line. It's not bad right now. It's
okay.
Not crazy or anything.
All right, you jump back on the line and let me know if we need to reestablish during the bottom of the hour, okay?
All right, of course.
All right, thank you. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I've got a couple other stories I've got to get into this morning. And one is, if this were you or I, could we do what she did? What am I talking about? Well, Lisa Page, attorney of the FBI, and one of the 2 FBI deadbeats that caused so much trouble, animosity, hatred, and stirred up a hornet's nest with their tweets about being anti-Trump during the campaign, she was instructed to testify before Congress yesterday. she was a no-show. No, I'm not going to go. I don't feel I've had adequate time to study some of the information. She's had months and months and months. Now, you can't do that. When you are instructed to and are subpoenaed to be there in front of Congress, you don't just say, no, I just don't think I'm going to go. I haven't had time. That is not the way the ball bounces on the court. Now, Congress is showing, in my opinion, you might not agree, a very milquetoast, weak-kneed, no-backbone attitude by not coming down on her right away and saying, you're in contempt of Congress. Oh, Lisa Page, you might go to jail. But they gave her two other options. They gave her the option of appearing this morning with her lovey, Peter Strzok, and testifying, or waiting until Friday morning. And then this no-backbone milquetoast Congress probably will back up and say, oh, well, doggone it, she didn't show again. Oh, darn, what are we going to do? I do not understand this. If you or I said, nah, I don't think I'm going to go, heck with them, that wouldn't carry a lot of weight. And we would be possibly gripping our right hand on some bars and our left hand on some bars and gazing out between the bars. How does she get away from it? Why isn't that contempt of Congress from the get-go? Where is Attorney General Jeff Sessions? Where is the law? Where are the scales of justice? Where is the fairness? Where is the equity? I don't know. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
You know, when I was a young boy, the FBI was the most respected thing that I ever heard of. If you heard the word FBI, you shook in your boots thinking, did I do something wrong? I mean, these people were upper crust. I mean, they were the ultimate as far as I'm concerned. And now this upper echelon of the FBI is just a bunch of doggone crooks. And I hope they nail her to the cross.
Well, okay, wait a minute. Stop right there. We as American citizens should be absolutely calling Crapo and Risch and Simpson and everybody else and say, wait a minute. You can't let these people get away with this. What's going on here? That's the problem. We are not adhering to what the rules and the regulations and the law says, and we're letting these loopy-loony liberals come out and get away with breaking the law. They ought to come thumbs down on this woman today, right now, and say, you're going to go into an 8x12 confinement area for a long period of time, Lisa. You don't defy Congress.
Yeah, but you know the problem is, you call your congressman or your senator or something, and the answer is going to be, I am not on that committee.
You know, and what you said really gripes me, too, because I don't like excuses. I don't like form letters. I don't like all this balderdash. There was another word I wanted to use, but I can't on the radio. I don't like all this stuff that they throw back at their constituents in the form of excuses. It's about high time they started working for us, doing what we ask, getting our answers, or we need to throw them out.
You know, there's many people in Congress today who have never met other Congress people. There's 400 and some of them, but there's no effort made to get to know them. In other words, they're in this department and I'm in this department. Leave me alone. I got all I can do to take care of that.
Well, all I'm telling you is, Keith, I'm not going to stretch this conversation out into different parameters. I'm talking about right now Lisa Page, FBI attorney, that told Congress basically to flake off. She's not going to pay any attention to it. And there are laws that say you don't do that type of thing. If we're going to be a nation of laws, they should have cracked down on Lisa Page from the get-go and said, sweetheart, you will be here, won't you?
Sometime when you're on jury duty, which I passed that point, if you're on jury duty and you do not show up, they come to you in handcuffs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and that's the way it should be. I mean, there's got to be rules and regulations, and there has to be laws that we follow. These people are breaking the law. They're making a mockery of the system, and we, the people of the United States, are allowing it to happen. It's Keith Cottom's fault. It's Zeb Bell's fault. It's all of our faults for not sitting there and going, wait a minute, Mike Crapo, go after her. She needs to be in jail.
We need to remember that part that says, and justice for all.
Amen. Got to run, Keith.
And that means them.
I appreciate it. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Don't forget the Bennett Boys Auction Service with the Roll and Shop Auction coming up this Saturday in Hagerman at 2771 South, 850 East. Look for the signs and lunch by the Cook Shack. Lawnmowers, sporting items, shop tools and supplies, all kinds of saws. And they're going to have different kinds of great, beautiful wicker furniture and willow furniture. All of this and more at the Roll and Shop Auction in Hagerman this Saturday, starting at 11 o'clock, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Also, real quick, I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Berry Equipment and Rental. Super, super nice people, and I really want your phone calls this morning, too, so call me in on the number. Berry Equipment and Rental Sales, Service, and Parts at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley and 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls and the Nampa location. And they do have everything for you. Walker lawnmowers, all the Bobcat excavators, new and used, for sale or rent, all shapes and sizes. Oh, and if you don't know how to run one, don't worry about it. They got a great big sandbox out behind the business. They will teach you. All your equipment rentals and retail equipment sales at Berry Equipment and Rental. Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa. You stop in and see them today. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. This next story made me so mad that, well, I'll get to it in a minute. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. This is the good news lunch guy.
Well, good news lunch guy. What have you got for lunch today that's good news?
Oh, we're going to have spaghetti and meat sauce and yummy salad, and I forgot what for dessert, but I know it'll be good. That's for today. Now, tomorrow we're going to have hamburgers and french fries and all of the trimmings and vegetables and watermelon.
Oh, boy.
For dessert.
Hey, I got to ask you, Joe, when it comes to eating spaghetti, are you a cutter or a slurper?
A little of both. I get it down now.
Okay.
They also can call in and get a lunch to go, and the number is 878-8646, and you probably better put a 208 in front of that.
Absolutely. Well, you're a multi-service organization over there at the Senior Center in Burley, and Joe Taylor, God bless you, world's biggest cheerleader for the seniors. We appreciate it.
Thank you, and we need more participation.
All right, Joe.
In support of the community. Thank you.
You bet, Joe. Thank you. Excellent food. Nice people over there at the Senior Junction. Thank you, Joe Taylor. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I was made aware of this story about, 5-6 days ago. And it made me so mad that this morning, prior to going on the air, I called one of the people in this story to see if this woman by the name of Christine Porter an associate professor at the University of Wyoming, had the backbone to come on my program and discuss her remarks. I left a message, didn't get her. Left a message on her personal line at the University of Wyoming. And I am going to continue to see if she has the backbone to back up her story. The University of Wyoming came out with a new slogan. And the slogan was, and is, "The world needs more cowboys." Now, before you jump up in the air and say something that you're maybe not informed about, the University of Wyoming logo and their mascot is a cowboy. And the first time I heard this slogan, "The world needs more cowboys," I interpreted this as the world needs more graduate students from the University of Wyoming to go all over the world. They are highly trained, highly educated. The world needs more cowboys. That's the way I first interpreted this. But not Associate Professor Christine Porter. She said that slogan evokes images of stereotypical Western icons in the minds of some faculty and misrepresents the University of Wyoming's research and educational goals. She says it's sexist and it's racist. And she said, quote, "I care most about our university having a slogan that makes all people feel welcome here. That's what I care about most. I also care about us not embarrassing ourselves as an institution across the nation. However proud the state is of our cowboy tradition, it does not translate outside the Rocky Mountain West." Oh, really, my dear Christine Porter? What about the big rodeo in California? They pronounce it as the California Rodeo in Salinas. What about Pendleton? What about Calgary? What about that football team? Gee whiz, I think I've heard of them down in Dallas called the Dallas Cowboys. And she said the objections are twofold. She said the slogan both fails to be inclusive and fails to be accurately representing the University of Wyoming to those outside Wyoming. And she said this, I quote, "For me, the clearest reason it's unacceptable is because of the word boy, excluding anyone who identifies as female." Well, hold on to your buckboard there, sister. What about the WNBA? Women's National Basketball Association. Or what about the LPGA, Ladies Professional Golfing Association? Oh, she doesn't think further than her nose when she makes these objections. And by the way, I know a lot of graduates of the University of Wyoming, and they are really sharp, nice people. And the denigration of cowboys, I'd much rather be around a bunch of cowboys that show more respect for our flag at a rodeo, never kneeling, never sitting, like the slovenly slobs of the National Football League. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. This really got my deodorant wearing off this morning, and I hope that I can get a hold of this woman and have her come on my program and see if she wants to back up some of her remarks. I know there's going to be a lot of fun going on this weekend, and it's going to be the kickoff at the Oakley Pioneer Days. It's going to start on Friday night, the 13th, with the Calcutta, and then the racing, and then the big bump and rub four-cylinder car race. And it's going to continue on Saturday night at 6 p.m. at the Oakley Rodeo Grounds. Woo-hoo, this is going to be wild and woolly. Let me tell you. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. And we really look forward to all the events. They're going to continue all next week with the the Oakley Pioneer Days with the great big theme, Looking Forward with Faith. Oakley Pioneer Days, it's going to be ripping good, 131st edition. Don't you miss it. And some of the great sponsors, caller, don't hang up. I'll be right there. We want to thank Clark's for Shopping at 100 East Main Street in Oakley. Hometown grocery store, famous breakfast sausage from Grandma's Secret Recipe. It is good. They've been in business since 1924. Clark's for Shopping on Main in Oakley. Oakley Valley Stone, 204 West Main in Oakley. Don't forget, they're wishing everybody a happy 131st year anniversary of Oakley Pioneer Days. And for all the stones for a new fireplace, headstone for a loved one, landscaping boulders, they've got it all at Oakley Valley Stone. And don't forget, too, Searles right there at 120 North Center Street in Oakley. Holy smokes, gas, grub, and goodies. Searles, really, they open at 6 a.m. in the morning till 9 p.m. You got to try their burgers and those specialty buns. They are good. Those are some of the great businesses supporting Oakley Pioneer Days. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. And they hung up. Why? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zebediah. How are you?
Upset as usual.
This woman in Wyoming, she must not be much of a woman because she should like these sexy cowboys.
I'm not even going to get into anything about her personality or what she is or what she isn't. But you know something, Bob, when I think about all the goodness that was involved in our society with the likes of Roy Rogers and Hopalong Cassidy and John Wayne, and we had a lot of war heroes that were cowboys, I don't like the disrespect from a woman like Christine Porter, and I intend to tell her that.
You know, some of these people don't have enough to do. It's all they can do is sit on their butt and think about what they can denigrate and all the bad things that made our country great.
They are
goodness for Donald Trump.
You're no kidding. And I will say this, Bob, and I mean this, that I am sick and tired of a society that wants to disgender our society. I'm proud to be a member of the Professional Cowboys Association, Rodeo Cowboys Association. I'm sure that the women on the other side of the coin are proud to become members and are members of the Women's Professional Rodeo Association. But the disgendering of our society, I will never have on my program, and I'm going to fight these people.
Well, they need to be put in a cracker box and shook up real good and maybe turn them loose. And I think we have to go back to our own senators and congressmen from Idaho. They're sitting back there in Washington and they're not doing one damn thing.
If you're looking for
anything.
If you're looking for an argument from me, you're not going to get it.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Okay, all right. I appreciate it. I agree with him. There's got to be more done. This deal, you know, our society is falling apart. How dare this woman, Associate Professor Christine Porter, come out with this, I'm the clearest reason I think this is unacceptable is the word boy, excluding anyone who identifies as female. And then the University of Wyoming Committee on Women and People of Color also objected to the new slogan. Can you imagine that? Now, I'm going to tell you what happened this morning. I do not know the lady's name. I wouldn't give it anyway. But when I called over to the University of Wyoming, a woman got on the phone with me and was helping me find the office for Christine Porter and her telephone number. And I said, the reason I'm calling is because of your slogan. And she said, oh. And I said, I want to tell you right up front, I'm going to use your slogan on the end of my radio program every day. When I say the way things were or the way things ought to be, I'm going to also say the world needs more cowboys in honor of the University of Wyoming. And this woman just bubbled up and she says, thank you. We want to keep that slogan. I said, well, of course, you have a few crackpots and weirdos and people that really don't understand that are coming out in the media. And she says, I know it. But we want to keep that slogan. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We can't purify and whiten everything. Oh, whiten is a term they don't like either. We can't put any kind of color to it because, they'll be all upset. But we can't whitewash everything in society to make it just non-generic for everyone, and I'm not even going to try. Caller, I'm going to take your call, and then I've got to go to the weather. Go ahead.
Well, you want to go to the weather first?
Yes, I do. Thank you. You stay with me, all right? Don't forget, Mount Harrison Audiology is bringing you the weather. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and, of course, they're right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, and I urge you to get a hearing screening evaluation with Dr. Pickup, Dr. Mitchell, and we're going to have those folks on later on this morning, too. Number to call, 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, serving you. Here is Scotty with the weather.
No reprieve from the heat. Good morning with your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron. Sunny for today. Going to see a high around 89. Wind will be calming down, however. Clear skies for tonight with a low of 53. Sunny and 91 on Friday. Friday night going to be mostly clear, a low of 55. Warming up just a bit on Saturday. Sunshine and 95. Partly cloudy for Saturday night, a low of 60. And then for Sunday, sunny, a high of 92. As we come back to work on Monday, we'll see sunny skies and a high of 92 as well. That is your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron. Have a great day.
Scotty, thank you. Brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids in Rupert. I'm telling you, these are great people. Call for an appointment today, 312-0957. And now to our caller extraordinaire. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm mad as heck.
I can hear that. You know, one thing this young lady, I guess I'd be polite, she forgot to notice that there was a lot of black and Spanish cowboys.
Yeah. Well, originally, you've touched on something. There were most of the cowboys on the cattle drives and coming up the Chisholm Trail, etc., were Hispanic or black cowboys.
Yes. So asking for more cowboys, what can be more diverse?
These people have nothing more to do. I mean, when you hear the slogan and you know that the University of Wyoming and their mascot is cowboys, and it has been for years, all of a sudden this woman, Associate Professor Christine Porter, and another guy too, by the name of Donald O'Toole, they come out of the woodwork like little mice, and we can't use cowboys. No, we can't let the world need more cowboys. We got to stop that. You know what? It was a better time in our life when we got up on Saturday mornings and watched Roy Rogers, where the good guys always won and goodness always prevailed. And good guys like James Garner and Robert Mitchum fought for our country in World War II. Lee Marvin, another one, and many, many more. I am sick and tired of the denigration of the word cowboys.
Yeah, it's just another way to try to divide this country, to take it over, get us fighting amongst ourselves, and then they can turn us into a third world nation to get a one world government.
There was a woman on television here not too long ago, and the reason I almost jumped out of my skin is I dropped my glass of water and caught it before it spilled over in my lap. It was a heck of a catch, Doug, I gotta tell you. But the reason I'm so upset about this is because these people want a non-gender society. They would much rather have cow person instead of cowboys. Now, they never said anything negative about the Cowgirls Hall of Fame down in Texas. They never said anything bad about the LPGA or, like I said, the WNBA, but they got to go after cowboys.
Yeah. It's the liberals that are doing this, that are wanting to make it a non-gender society, I think they have a mental disorder.
Oh, come out and say it like it is. They're nuts.
They are. They're plumb crazy. Well, just change the subject just a touch, but the liberals and the environmentalists wanting to get rid of plastic straws and plastic bags and all that stuff Aren't they the same people in the 70s wanting to get rid of paper straws and paper bags to save a tree?
Yeah, I'm telling you something, Doug. The world is so messed up right now. It's filled with hatred against Trump and hatred against his administration, hatred against his policies, which are proving that they are working. It's just nothing but the left and their evil, vile, sinister thoughts and movements. And then you've got these crackpots and weirdos that want a non-gender society. They want to change the words. Did you hear that Kathy Aru on television a couple of days ago where they're going to come up with a new dictionary that we all have to follow because it's going to be non-genderistic?
I have not heard that one.
Oh, it was crazy. The words in there like yo and DOS and all this kind of thing. I mean, so that you don't mention a specific gender. And I sat there and Deanna and I looked at each other, and it is my mission in life to try to create as much turmoil against these people as I can.
Yes, yeah, I agree right there. They're just... They don't have enough to do. They don't have a real job. I don't know how someone can come up with those ideas.
I sat there and I tried to be open-minded, listening to her on television where they're completely kindergartner attitude about, oh, we can't do this. We can't have his or her or him or she. We can't do this anymore. Oh, no, we've got to have non-specific words. And I thought, I'm never going to relegate myself to that kind of absolute stupidity. I can't, I won't, I don't think it's right. God did not intend that to be. God made man and he made woman. There's just two genders. The rest of you people that are trying to incorporate, like in New York, 46 to 60 different genders, you're all nuts.
They are. They're, like you said, they're crazy. They're nuts. Because you read the Bible, in the first book in the Bible, it says God created man, God created woman. It didn't say God created na or nay or or anything else. It says man and woman.
And I can guarantee you one thing, every program ending from now on is going to have my byline, plus the world needs more cowboys. I'm going to stick it to every one of these people that are ever tuning in because I won't let them think for 1 minute they're beating me.
Exactly. And the world does need more cowboys.
Got you covered. I got to pay some bills.
And the world also needs more people to support senior centers.
There you go. I knew you'd work that in.
You like that segue?
It was good. It was good.
God bless you.
Thanks, Doug. I never weaken. Never, ever weaken. Old Davy Crockett said years ago, be sure you're right, then go ahead. And I am. Don't forget, if you're getting ready for a road trip, be sure and stop into any one of these 7 Magic Valley Les Schwab tire centers. Absolutely the best at what they do. They've got all the tires, all the tread designs, all the different sizes for all of your cars, pickups, SUVs, camp trailers, horse trailers, boat trailers, you name it. Don't head out on the road without having everything checked. Along with that, they have a free pre-trip safety check where they check the air in your tires and check your brake components and your wheel alignment for tire wear, front-end components, shocks and struts, battery, including a load test. They want you to have a safe, fun, family, good road trip. Right. All you need to do is stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. They are the best. That's not brag. That's a fact. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Whew, I got to calm down. I'm mad this morning and proud of it. Who was it? Eddie Childs said I'm mad as blankety blank and I'm not going to change. Well, that's the way I feel. We can't weaken. We cannot weaken. You've got to have convictions. You've got to stand up for things you believe in, folks. And I'm standing up for this administration. I'm standing up for their economic policies. I'm standing up for their security policies. I'm standing up that Congress had better come down on Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and make them adhere to the law. And I'm also standing up for the University of Wyoming. The world needs more cowboys. Absolutely. We're going to take a little break right now, and we're going to let the big boys from CBS come in and mess everything up. And then at 9:06, we've got the Chamber Report with Rapid Fire, Sarah Seymour. I love that lady. And then at 9:17, the Cassia Regional Hospital. And then at 9:30, we'll talk about many items political with Rita Ramsey. We've got all that coming up. Later on this morning, Cassia County School Days, along with the Business Salute. And then don't forget the old fishing hole with Josh from Sportsman's Warehouse at 10:30. Today, this morning, right now, he's fishing over at Lake Walcott, and he's going to tell us what he's after. Right now, Wheels, take us up to news from CBS. Whoa! I guess I'm back in the saddle. I wasn't ready for that quick throw right there. Thank you very much, Wheels. Appreciate it, buddy. Right now, this is Zeb at the Ranch, Zeb Bell. And, of course, I'm brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, don't forget some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. We're going to have our Chamber of Commerce report in just a few moments. I also want to remind you about Ark Animal Hospital. Hello, Dr. Bill, Dr. Jordan, the whole staff over there. Nice people. At 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. The number to call, 678-1177. And don't forget to get ID tags on your pets. With all the summer storms, the lightning and the thunder, and, of course, fireworks and everything else, they might just hightail it out of the country. Well, if they're found, everybody will know it's your dog or kitty cat. So make sure you get that stuff from Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street in Heyburn, where they do have warm hearts for cold noses. Also, a big thank you for all they do for the community, all they do. I understand that breakfast they had on the 4th of July was phenomenal at Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward, manager, and his family and his staff serving you. These are people that really care about you, your family, and, like I said, the community. They are always there to serve you with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary in Rupert. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Right now it's time for the Chamber of Commerce report. Get ready, buckle up, hold on to something. Here comes Rapid Fire. Sarah Seymour, good morning.
Zeb, how are you today?
I am fantastic. Did you have a good Independence Day?
Oh, it was wonderful. We just stayed at home and barbecued and watched fireworks. It was great.
Well, now that you're back over at the office and you've got kind of the midsummer point right now after the Independence Day celebration, what's cooking?
You know, it always feels like as soon as the 4th of July hits, our summer's over, but we still have so much coming down the line. Today, I'd love to invite all of our members to join us at our monthly luncheon. It's going to be right here at Riverside Park in Heyburn, right next to the Chamber. Idaho Water Sports is going to be our speaker and presenter today, and they're going to let us try all their kayaks and paddleboards and boat rides, all for our members. Please call into RSVP and get your name on the list, or go to our website and register. If you're a member, we can't wait to see you.
Are you a kayaker?
You know, I never have, but I would love to try it.
Okay.
I'm not a great swimmer, so that's probably why.
Okay.
Our Chamber of Commerce is launching our photo contest. This is going to be such a great event. We encourage everyone in our community to take pictures from now all the way through the fall and winter. Submit them to our website. Email them right here to me at the Chamber. We're going to be having our board of directors vote on these, and the winners will go ahead and get hung in our visitor center for an entire year, as well as win some Chamber cash and things in our visitor center and have your pictures hung. It's going to be a really great event. So go to our website and check out our photo contest link for more information on that.
All righty. Well, I know better than to interrupt you when you're on a roll, so keep on rolling.
All right. Some member events we got coming down the line. Idaho Water Sports is doing their Wake the Snake at River's Edge Golf Course on Saturday the 14th. It starts at 9 a.m. This is a free event to the public, so come on down, bring your chairs, and enjoy the action-packed day for the whole family. Intermountain Kaza Regional Hospital has a cancer support group going on. Go ahead and head on over to our calendar on our website, and you can check out all of the dates and times for that.
Okay.
Kaza will also be doing a health fair open to the public at Pomerelle Place. Again, check out our calendar. We have all of the information on there.
All right, she's rolling now. Look out.
One more member event I want to mention, Starley Levitt Insurance is going to have their Customer Appreciation Day barbecue. That's going to be Thursday, July 26th at their Overland Avenue location, so go out and support them. And we've got so many community events going on. We've got workshops. We've got OVAC doing their plays. Tons of things going on. Magic Valley Folk Festival tickets are available here at the Chamber. Come on in here and grab those for you. And if you have any questions about what to do this weekend or any time at all, please go to our website, check out our calendar. We're adding new things to that every day.
Would somebody over at the Mini-Cassia office of the Chamber of Commerce please make Sarah go sit down, take a cold sip of water? She must be worn out.
You know, I think I spent 5 minutes in the office today, yesterday. It was such a busy day, but we are just rolling, getting things done. Super excited to meet everybody.
Sarah, I appreciate it. Now, if people have questions or they're on the interstate right now and they don't know what to do, where to go, what to see, how do they get a hold of you?
Perfect. Well, go ahead and take the Hayburn exit and come over and see us. Follow the signs for the Visitor Center. We're located at 1177 7th Street in Hayburn. You can check out our website anytime. We're always adding new information to that, www.minikazzachamber.com. Give us a call here, 208-679-4793, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We're there as well.
Woo! Sarah Seymour, I've got to meet you. My wife and I are going to stop by and try to see you this next week. God bless you, and thank you on behalf of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Zeb. I look forward to it. Have a great week.
All right. Thank you very much. Wheels, jump on here. I noticed that we got a couple of crackles. I don't know what the problem with our phone lines are this morning, but how bad is it right now? Do we need to change it again?
Well, no, because like right now when you're talking, it's clear as day, and
okay.
There's no crackle at all. So
all right.
I don't know necessarily what's going on.
I have no idea what happens on these phone lines. Wheels and I have talked about it 1,000 times, but we'll get it figured out. Wheels, thank you very much. Right now, I also want to remind everybody about the Silver State Stampede. Wheels, how about it, buddy?
PRCA Rodeo Action thunders into Elko, July 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Elko County Fairgrounds. 3 big days for the 2018 Silver State Stampede. Nevada's oldest rodeo is family entertainment at its finest. This PRCA rodeo brings you the thrill of pro riders going head-to-head in one of the toughest sports in the world. Action kicks off Friday, July 13th with mutton busting, a delicious tri-tip dinner, the Calcutta, Old West bronc riding, PRCA rodeo action, the world-famous Ring of Fear, and dancing to the Jeff Palmer Band. Gates open on Friday and Saturday at 4 with mutton busting starting at 6 and rodeo action starting at 7. And on Sunday, gates open at noon with mutton busting at 1 and the rodeo action starting at 2. Tickets on sale now at the Boot Barn and the Elko Chamber office. Rodeo action at its finest. With the 2018 Silver State Stampede, July 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Elko County Fairgrounds. For more information, contact SilverStateStampede.com.
Thank you very much, and don't forget the Bennett Boys Auction Service going to have a ripping good sale this Saturday at 11 o'clock over at Hagerman. Don't forget the address, 2771 South, 850 East. Look for the signs. They're going to have lunch by the Cook Shack, and they're going to have lawnmowers and sporting items. They're going to have lots and lots of fishing poles and all kinds of tackle. They're going to have a gas camp cook stove. They're going to have shop tools, all the different saws and supplies. They're going to have furniture, willow furniture and wicker furniture. Woo, baby, be there. Roll and Shop Auction in Hagerman this coming Saturday starting at 11 o'clock, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Remember, no sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they do sell them all, and they do a wonderful job, too. Quick reminder, we're going to have Lunch Bunch coming up on the 26th of July. Remember, that is 2 weeks from today, and it's going to be at Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley. Zeb's Lunch Bunch for July on the 26th. Don't miss it. Want to remind you, too, there is a great big sale going on, a red, white, and blue sale this whole month of July at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Holy cow, Jeff and the crew, they've got everything over there for you. Floor coverings on sale, luxury vinyl floor covering on sale, love seats on sale, bedroom groups in stock on sale, all kinds of mattress specials. What are you waiting for? 12 months interest free. Window coverings help to insulate your home, 40% off. All of this and more at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland and Burley. Number to call, 878-2341. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. And don't forget, on Tuesdays every week, during the course of the summer, we talk to the lovely Miss Vicky over at Vicky's Country Gardens, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. And it's celebrating 21 years in business. This lovely lady, Vicky, absolutely has all the answers to your gardening questions, and maybe you're doing some exterior design on your lawn and everything. She's got the answers, and she has all the material. Vicky's Country Garden in Paul. Number to call, 438-5663. In just a very few moments, we're going to learn more about our dear friends at Cassia Regional Hospital. And I want to quickly remind you, too, coming up later on this morning, Cassia County School Days, we're going to be talking to Sandra Miller, Assistant Superintendent, at 10:10. Then our Business Salute, and then at 10:30, we're going fishing. We're going to go right over to Lake Walcott with Josh from Sportsman's Warehouse. He's over there fishing as we speak, so it's going to be pretty interesting. Another reminder, too, about our friends always serving you at Let's Ride. You know, you got to get out. You got to just enjoy the beauty of the summer and all the beautiful locations around southern Idaho. You need to get on an ATV and go. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4, and 0% financing on ATVs right now. Oh my goodness, yeah, and they got all the watercraft. They got all the Honda Pioneer side-by-sides. They've got all the accessories. They got it all at Let's Ride. Stop over and see these great folks today. Super Service Department, too. Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, and it is true. This is where the fun is sold. Right now, let's learn more about some of the wonderful professional people at Cassia Regional Hospital. Wheels, if you would, please.
People caring about you and your health care in the most professional and progressive ways. That's Cassia Regional Hospital, located at 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. In a moment, we'll introduce you to just one of the many dedicated medical experts serving you at Cassia Regional Hospital. Today's program, right after this. Cassia Regional Hospital provides you and your family excellent health care answers and services. They're right here, close to home. That's right. Cassia Regional Hospital offers the latest technological advances in medicine, like their new oncology programs and telehealth, which uses electronic information and telecommunications to promote long-distance patient and clinical health care. Your friends, your neighbors. Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care, close to home. We're visiting right now today with Margot Mitchell, and she's the ultrasound technologist at Cassia Regional Hospital. I haven't got a clue, Margot, what that means. Tell me about your job, and basically, what do you do?
So what we do is we use sound waves to look at the inside of the body. Probably the most common one that most people have heard about is the OB ultrasounds, when we're looking at the babies to see if they're okay and everything's normal with them, and see if it's a boy or a girl. That's usually the biggest thing people want to know. But we're also able to look at like the abdomen, and we can look at the arteries and veins. We look at the heart. We're able to look at the muscles and the tendons and ligaments and see if there's a tear there. So we're actually able to see pretty much anything except for like bone. We can't go through bone very well.
I see. Now, when did this kind of medical
medical technocracy, if you will. When was it developed? And you really have to sit back in awe as to some of the great minds that developed this sense.
Oh, yeah. It's been around probably since the 70s, because ultrasound is a computer-based technology. So as the computers have gotten better, ultrasound has gotten better. So without the computer programming, we couldn't do ultrasound.
Well, now, what basically is it going to tell you? What is it going to show you? And then we'll talk about the training that you had to go through in just a moment. But what really does this show?
Like I said, with the babies, we're able to see if there's abnormalities on the babies. We're able to look and see if they've got a predisposition for, like, Down syndrome. One of the things we look for.
Okay.
Another big one we get is gallstones. We're able to see if a patient has gallstones or liver disease, or we can look for blood clots in the veins, or any heart problems that with the valves or the walls of the heart. We're able to see that.
I would imagine that these are real life-saving tests, are they not?
Yes, they are. And ultrasound is no radiation, so we're able to do all of these studies without actually, dosing the patient with any, radiation.
Wow. I am amazed at the technical abilities for these machines and the people that run them on how they can discern a person's health as to what you said, abnormalities, etc. What about the training for your job? How long does it take to really know and understand what to do and how to run these tests?
Well, the basic training is probably about 2 years. But with ultrasound, I've been doing this for 32 years, and I am still learning.
Wow.
Every time the computers get better, so the machines get better, we have something new we can see. 10 years ago, we couldn't see muscles. Now we can see muscles. When I started, you couldn't see the face of the baby, and now we can do 3D imaging of the baby. So as the technology gets better, we get better. And so we're constantly learning. You're always learning in this field, which is so nice.
Well, this is interesting to me because now do all hospitals across the United States have these abilities for these kind of tests?
Most hospitals do, yeah.
I see.
Ultrasound is one of the probably easiest machines to bring in because it's a portable type of machine. It's on wheels. So it's easy for most facilities to actually have an ultrasound machine and have a tech do ultrasounds. So it is pretty common across, pretty much across the country.
Well, I bet you these are a patient and a doctor's best friend, because if something, let's say that it's a severe bruise to the leg, or if it's some kind of other abnormality, it's going to show up and it can be treated a lot faster, right?
Right, yes. And ultrasound's pretty quick, whereas like MRI takes, a little bit more time, and they have specialized doctors that have to read it. Ultrasound is pretty much read by most radiologists, and it's usually a fairly quick exam. We've got a couple that are a little longer, but most ultrasounds are done within like a half an hour to an hour at the most, so they're pretty quick.
Explain to me, a person that doesn't understand, the difference, if you will, from ultrasound and an MRI.
So ultrasound uses sound waves. So it's basically like your sonar on your ship. So it sends out a sound wave, and then it hits an object, which it'll hit the body, and then that echo bounces back, and our machine takes that echo and translates it into an image. That's real basic. MRI is using a magnet.
I see.
And that's about all I can tell you on it.
to know your ability for the ultrasounds, I'm really astounded. What kind of, when you did the training and went through the education, how do they teach something like this?
With ultrasound, because we actually are the ones controlling the transducer, which is what's getting the image.
Right.
It's a very hands-on technology, so the only way to really learn is by hands-on. So you literally have to be scanning to learn. You can do your anatomy and all that on the books, but to actually learn ultrasound, you have to scan.
Is there for lack of better terminology, a sense of feel that's developed? Explain that a little bit.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't know about most techs, but our techs here are all right-handed. So we all scan right-handed, and we run the computer with our left hand.
I see.
And we're looking at a monitor. So we're actually not watching where our hand is going.
I would imagine that a person of your intelligence and knowledge, boy, they better treat you just right, because are they hard to find, good techs like you?
Especially in a smaller area like this, it can be hard to find ultrasound technologists. They're getting a little bit more common because we have more people going into ultrasound, but it can be hard to replace. We've been lucky so far. Every time we've needed somebody new, we've been able to pick someone up, so it's been worked out for us.
Well, I absolutely am impressed with what you do. Is there anything else about the imaging and the ultrasound that you'd like to explain to me?
I don't know. It's such a growing field, and it's just a lot of fun. We see a lot of stuff, and we have a good time, learning something new, and we are, sharing with each other, oh, I saw this. Have you seen this? And, and then one of the techs here is mentioning, like, breast ultrasounds. We can do ultrasounds on the breast now to see if it's a cyst or if it's a solid lesion in that breast. So, there's just so much we can do with it. It's really fun.
And the thing that you mentioned is you can visit with your other cohorts there, and I bet that helps the education process also to develop bigger and better things and understanding what you're doing.
Exactly, yeah, because it's like if we see something that we haven't seen before, then we're like, hey, this is what this is, and our radiologist, Dr. Robertson, is just fabulous to work with. If we have any questions, we just go ask him, and he looks at it and tells us what he thinks it is, so...
I was going to ask you, too, do you have kind of like, for, again, lack of better terminology, team meetings to sit down and discuss, well, I found this, and then I found that, and then do a comparison, and everybody can learn from each other's application?
Not really, but we're a small department, so pretty much if somebody sees something, we can just go and grab the other techs and say, hey, come look at this. So if we were bigger, we probably would, but we're still pretty much a small department. We're able to talk to anybody we need to talk to and share.
I tell you what, it's really fascinating, the world of medicine, and right on the forefront, of course, the folks at Cassia Regional Hospital. We're talking to Margot Mitchell, ultrasound technologist, and we thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
Tune in every Thursday at 9:18 right here on Zeb at the Ranch for more about the people and the healthcare services at your Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care close to home.
Oh, my. I learned so much talking to these professionals at Cassia Regional. Really interesting people, and they are your friends and neighbors. Oh, my goodness, talking about friends and neighbors, let's not forget our friends over to Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Oh, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Don't forget, for life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more, you'd better be prepared. You'd better have them work for you. They are dedicated and responsive to your needs. Call them for an appointment today. That number is easy to call, 436-4424, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Really good folks. Let's take kind of a look here. We talked about President Donald Trump yesterday pardoning 2 Oregon ranchers, the Hammond family, and next week on the program we're going to be having we're going to have RCAF USA. Bill Bullard is going to come on and talk about this. They also sent out a note of thanks to President Trump for the pardon, and I'm going to be calling my good friend Bill and hopefully get him on the program. I think I've got him scheduled for next week on Tuesday, so that'll be coming up on Tuesday, I think, at 10:30. One more reminder, and I had another call during the news. Somebody said, what did you say? When's lunch going to be for July? Again, I will say it. It's going to be on the 26th. the 26th of July, and that's going to be at Denny's Restaurant, and that's 611 North Overland in Burley. Zeb's Lunch Bunch at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. We've got a lot of door prizes to give away. Invite your friends and neighbors. Everybody try to be there on the 26th of July. Zeb's Lunch Bunch at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. In just a moment, we're going to be going to the telephone and talking to Rita Ramsey. Stand by for that, but I want to mention one more time about a great big sale going on this Saturday, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. It's the Roll and Shop Auction, and it's going to be at 11 o'clock. They'll bring the gavel down on Saturday morning, this coming Saturday, the 14th, in Hagerman at 2771 South, 850 East. Look for the signs. Can't miss it with the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Don't forget they're going to have lawnmowers and sporting items, like lots and lots of fishing equipment, lots and lots of shop tools with all the different saws and different supplies, miscellaneous items, furniture, wicker furniture, willow furniture, all of this and more with this sale managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service this coming Saturday, the 14th at 11 o'clock in Hagerman. Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, yep, they do. They manage them all. Absolutely. Okay, let's see. We got that done. We've got that done. And right now we're going to go to the phone line. And I believe the absolutely lovely lady, Rita Ramsey, is ready to go. Good morning, Rita.
Good morning. How are you?
Mad, frustrated, and unapologetic.
Which issue would it be today?
Well, I'll give you three that... You make me smile. When I heard about this idiocy and incompetency and non-genderism from the University of Wyoming, the school is a great school. I know a lot of people over there. I know professors over there. And they came out with a slogan that said, the world needs more cowboys. And automatically my thoughts were, yeah, you know, they need more cowboy graduates from the University of Wyoming. They're really sharp people. They can go into many diversified fields, and I thought it was a great slogan. But one of their associate professors, Christine Porter, said, no, it's racist and sexist, and she's trying to do away with it.
This is what the big problem is in our world today. It's not just here in America, and it's not as bad in our community, hopefully, but we're so afraid of causing someone to have their feelings hurt that we can't do anything. We have to be general. What's wrong with there being more cowboys, whether they're graduates from the university that has the cowboys as their mascot or whether they are real cowboys? At least those are real people.
Yeah, and I said something the first hour, and I stand behind my feelings on this. When I go to a rodeo, and I've been to more than most, I've announced over 10,000 performances in 50 years. And I'll tell you something, I've never seen cowboys take a knee or sit down during the national anthem. They're not like those loons with the NFL.
Well, and let's just say they wouldn't be on the back of a bronc or a bull or something like that, or even on a horse with a one of those you know how they do the calf thing.
Yes.
They wouldn't be on that if they weren't pretty tough. I mean, me and that scratchy stuff for those what do they call those? All of a sudden my mind's gone blank. When you're trying to rope a cow or something.
You mean the roping events, calf roping, team roping? Yeah.
Those things are not, I mean, just regular people can't even manage those things. They're full of steel cable and stuff. And any of that kind of stuff falling off the, after you've been, you know, bucked off of a bull or a horse or whatever, and you get scrunched with it. I mean, it takes some real guts and a lot of all I can say is I have the utmost respect for cowboys and those who handle horses and cows and cattle and that type of thing, because they have to be pretty tough in order to get through that.
Well,
So there's no faint of heart.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I look at it and I'm prejudiced. I'll say that right up front. I'm prejudiced because that's how I've made my living for the last 50 years of my 70 years. And I'm proud of the affiliation I've had. But you know what? I see the respect. I see what happened in the 50s and 60s when we were growing up with the respect of the good guys always winning on the TV shows like Roy Rogers, the Lone Ranger, and then the actor John Wayne. And many, many war heroes were of cowboy descents, and Jimmy Stewart, and of course Robert Mitchum, Audie Murphy, the list goes on. And when I have someone like this woman denigrate, the world needs more cowboys, and she says it's sexist and racist and unacceptable because they use the word boy, excluding anyone who identifies as female, I get fighting mad over this.
Well, somebody should have handed her a thing of liquid soap to wash out her mouth and just keep her mouth shut on stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. Maybe we have watched too much TV in our time, but I would dare bet you that we could go back to histories of early pioneers and people, and it was the cowboy who saved them from the bad guys or the bad people or those who were intending to harm. So I think that somebody needs to call her out on it and just say, you know what, just keep your mouth shut. You're just digging a hole. Keep your opinion to yourself.
Well, what I did, and I said this first hour, I called over to the University of Wyoming prior to the show this morning, got a hold of one of the switchboard operators who gave me the number for this Christine Porter's office, and I left word on her phone that if she had the backbone to back up her statement, she was welcome to come on my program, and I left my cell phone number. I doubt I'll hear from her.
Probably not so much.
Yeah. Now, another thing I wanted to say, and I'm upset about this morning, and I wanted to talk to you about, I got into a real argument on Monday with some people back in the Midwest that absolutely hate Donald Trump. They hate his policies. They hate anybody that supports Donald Trump and his policies. And I'm going to stand up here, like I said first hour this morning. Please look at what's being done. We're seeing some great successes by Donald Trump. We're seeing some huge successes by his administration. I know that Donald Trump has character flaws, but who of us does not? And who wants to throw the first stone? I'm telling you, I'm very excited about what this man is doing because he's telling the world, and especially the NATO members, hey, shape up, ship out, I'm not going to pay the bill anymore.
Well, that's why I think it's quite interesting with all the arrows that are coming from everybody. I had one article here that says John Kerry scolds President Trump over his disgraceful behavior. And it's like, John Kerry and disgraceful behavior towards America? Hello? And then I see one here that says Shepard Smith rips into Trump in another scathing critique. And the thing of it is, and I've heard on several different things this morning, from late last night till this morning, of how you've got all of these news people who think they're news people anyway, all of these goofballs that are saying Trump shouldn't do this and he shouldn't do that and he belittled da-da-da-da-da, and he's taking us back to all of the problems we had before the war, the Second World War, and he's just dropping us back and everything. And I think, and where were they when Obama was on his I Hate America tour when he first became president as he went around the world?
Absolutely. Shepard Smith is one of the most liberal news commentators, and he is on Fox. I think they keep him on there just to have a little bit of diversity with the political stance. But I absolutely do not like the man. There are many, many others. But you know what? It's working. The NATO nations said that they would agree to a $35 billion increase commitment to NATO. Hey, evidently Trump kind of shook the tree a little bit. I'm glad he did it. Why should America be expected to pay most of the money?
Well, that's the whole big problem is that America and our stupid Congress and Senate have just said, okay, yeah, we'll just pay the bill, just tell us how much, and instead of saying, no, we're not going to do that, we're going to negotiate. You guys are going to have to kick in yours. I see there's a story this morning that President Trump, in fact, it wasn't on earlier, so I think it might have just come in. But anyway, it says U.S. President Donald Trump has told press at NATO summit on Thursday that he warned the defense union that immigration is taking over Europe.
Yep.
He said, I told him today that the EU better be careful because immigration is taking over Europe, and I said that loud and clear.
He did. And
what's going on throughout the world with immigration? I probably, if not partially, won an election because of immigration.
That's right.
And the EU is in the same situation, and yet all of their leaders over there are going, no, it's okay, immigration's just fine.
You know, I listened to, in its entirety, that press conference that Donald Trump had over at the NATO meeting this morning at 4:30 a.m. We get up at 4. I had a chance to sit there and listen to all the questions from all the different news media outlets and have Donald Trump answer all the answers or all the questions. He did a phenomenal job. I give him an A+. That's not being partial. It's just exactly what happened. I watched the whole thing. He answered the questions about the increase in funding. He answered the questions about being a little brusque with these people, and he said why, because it netted results. And he said he's going to do the same thing when he visits the United Kingdom, and he's going to do the same thing when he visits with Vladimir Putin. What's wrong with that?
Well, that's just it. Nobody's had any kind of nerve or backbone to go in and say, hey, this is the way it is. I think it's quite interesting that he would bring out and actually say it where nobody's had the nerve to say it. You know, he says if you look at Italy, Minister Giuseppe won his election on his strong immigration policies. Britain voted to leave the European Union because of uncontrolled immigration, and he's just calling them out and saying, hey, look what's happening to your countries, and we're not going to stand for this. And that's why they're supposed to be having these meetings, is to say, you know what, the U.S. is not going to pay for all of this anymore. You guys are going to kick in, or we're going to be out of here. But I'm also warning you, you're going to lose your country, and that's what's trying to happen in our country. You're already seeing it way worse than we are, but you better wake up. And nobody has dared say that before. And that's why all of these lefties are so darn mad, is because if George W. Bush was the president, they would just attack him for not doing this and that and the other, but Obama can do the exact same thing or opposite, and it's, oh, this is wonderful. They were just wishing that it was their president that was saying this so they could jump on board, because they don't want to give any accolades to our current president because he's not one of theirs.
Well, and like this morning, I don't know if you caught this or not, but this morning in the Times News, the illustrious great newspaper, the Times News, they reprinted an article from the Washington Post, and here's the headline. Trump is poisoning NATO. Why? Listen. He went over there when the American public is footing the bill for 70% or more of the money to NATO. He went over there and said, hey, we've got to have more involvement. You've got to kick in more than your 2%, or those that are way under 2%, shape up and bring it up to 2%, or NATO's going to be dissolved and we're not going to support it anymore. What is Trump doing to poison NATO other than looking these people in the eye and saying, come on, big boy, pony up, it's your turn?
Oh, absolutely. And this is what nobody's had the strength to say. You know what? We can't keep supporting the whole world. You're either going to kick in or we're going to be out. We'll be on our own. That's the worst thing that could happen to NATO, is if we actually did. So Trump's saying, hey, I'm the big guy here. You're going to either kick in or we're out of here. You want us to stay or not? Well, yeah, we want you to stay, so we'll up our contribution and we'll step up to the plate. Hello, what's wrong with that? He's just looking at what's good for America, kind of like what he went on his campaign trail about, what's good for America. So these people are just anti-America, and if it was their president saying these things, they'd be all on board and think, oh, my gosh, he's so wonderful. Look what he's doing. He's looking out for America. But no, because it's not their guy, it's the wrong thing.
Well, why is it, though? that the American public is accepting these liberal loons that come out and say, oh, well, he's hurting Germany. He's not for Angela Merkel. He's hurting the UK. He's hurting this and that and the other thing. Wait a minute. Why can't the liberal loons in this country, and the Democrats in particular, stand up for America? This is our country, instead of trying to fragmentize everything and stand up for everybody else.
Well, absolutely, and I heard somebody early morning talking on that particular subject and saying, it's quite interesting how the left would just idolize Angela Merkel in Germany. Do they kind of forget how many wars they started, world wars they started, and how many millions of people they killed? Is Germany really our hero and we should be idolizing them?
I just don't understand why we have to have all this divisiveness. I did not like Obama. I detested the man. I did not like his ideology, but on my program, and I've got copies of the tapes, I came out and said, and I think you and I talked about it on one show also, that I wish him success for the betterment of America and the betterment for my family and our future. It didn't work out that way because he was an appeaser. And all he did was just help everybody else except America. But I was absolutely for him if he would have done something for America.
Well, absolutely. And, we all said, okay, we don't like anything that you're doing because you're doing everything that's anti-America, but you're still our president, and we had to call you President
That's
Obama,
right.
and
That's
we didn't
right.
like it. And so what did the Tea Parties do? Did they start tearing down streets and towns and doing stuff like that? No, they gathered together and started learning and started saying, hey, we better learn about the Constitution so that we know what's happening here. And get some history behind us and start making people aware of those types of things so that we can say, hey, this is not constitutional or it isn't. But we have to go through our representatives. We can't go just to the president. And so while these other people on the other side are making such a big stink about it, and they've just gone out of their mind. They are just not even sane anymore. They won't look at it. They won't say, well, okay, we'll look for the next election or anything like that. It's just kind of like, can't we just impeach him and get him out of there? Like They think that Hillary, who got second place in the race, would now be the winner.
Yeah.
Hello?
We'll talk more. I want to ask you about something. You're a very sharp lady, and you know the ins and outs of politics. But I'll just leave this hanging in thought for a moment. If you were subpoenaed to testify in front of Congress, could you thumb your nose at them and say, no, I'm not going to go? I'll have you answer that in just a few minutes. Right now, it's time for the weather real quick, and it's brought to you by our friends at Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. Of course, great people, knowledgeable people, and they want you to be aware of the new tax law changes. Yes, there's been changes in tax rates. Yes, there's been changes in deductions. Yes, there's been changes in some of the old deductions, and you need to be aware of it for you, your family, and your business. Contact them today. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Right now, here's Scotty with the weather.
No reprieve from the heat. Good morning with your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron. Sunny for today. Going to see a high around 89. Wind will be calming down, however. Clear skies for tonight with a low of 53. Sunny and 91 on Friday. Friday night going to be mostly clear, a low of 55. Warming up just a bit on Saturday. Sunshine and 95. Partly cloudy for Saturday night, a low of 60. And then for Sunday, sunny, a high of 92. As we come back to work on Monday, we'll see sunny skies and a high of 92 as well. That is your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron. Have a great day.
Thank you, Scotty, and brought to you by our friends, Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Make an appointment today. Find out all about the new tax law changes for you, your family, and your business with Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. Rita, I don't even know how to start this conversation, because I guess we're not a nation of laws anymore. I guess we're not a nation that respects what is right and what is wrong. Here we have Lisa Page, an attorney for the FBI, that basically with her lovey, Peter Strzok, they were doing all they could, and I think there was more power above them that was aiding and abetting the situation to demonize and stop Donald Trump's campaign efforts. And she was told she'd better be in front of Congress to answer questions today. And she didn't do it. How did they get away with this?
The rules apply to those of us who respect the rules, and those people don't. And I heard, I don't know whether it was Keith or Doug or one of the people that called in earlier this morning, said, you know what? I used to look at the FBI and shudder because they were the ones who enforced the law.
Yep.
And now you've got these people in there who think they are the ones who enforce the law, and we will make them do it. And oh, by the way, we'll call the law however we want it, not as it is written. And that's the sad part, is that if you or I were subpoenaed to go into court, you're darn right we'd be just heading right on in there. And these, it's like, no, I don't have to do that. I could do whatever I want. I don't have to do that. And by the way, just my attorney says I don't have to if I don't want to, and you can't hurt me. And basically they're just thinking of every excuse under the sun why they shouldn't be in there. She should be in there, first of all, because she's a government employee. There is a little bit different standard that they need to go by, because they have to answer to us, their employers, you and I and all the taxpayers. If they worked for a regular place, I can see an attorney saying, well, just give us a little bit of time and we're going to da-da-da-da-da. But they have a double responsibility. The first is they better get their fanny on in there and report. And the second is that they better report because they're government employees and they are paid with taxpayer funds, and we are the ones who pay those, and there needs to be an accounting.
Why is there, and I'm going to pursue this, I'm going to try to get Crapo on this next week, why is there an appeasement from the powers in this country to people like Lisa Page? There was a congressman on television last night from Texas, and they asked him, well, if she doesn't show up, isn't she in contempt of Congress? And he kind of wishy-washed it, and he said, well, we kind of gave her another option of maybe coming in today with Peter Strzok, or if that doesn't work, maybe tomorrow on Friday. And then the reporter said again, well, isn't that contempt of Congress? And he said, well, yeah, but there doesn't seem to be any teeth to enforce the law.
That just tells you that there are so many congressmen who have their hands in their pockets from other places that they don't want anything bad coming out on them if they say just the wrong thing. They are so measured in everything that they say and they do, and it's because they don't have a clear conscience. They have been bought, and somebody else is calling the cards and the game and saying, hey, this is the way you're going to do it. We don't really care what the truth is. This is the way you're going to do it. And we should make all of those people come back home. And this is why it is so important to start looking at the people that we've elected and say, are you really who is going to stand up for America? I know this is a sore spot with a lot of people, and there's going to be some people that will call up and email me and say, rah, 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 rah. But you know what? The only answer is to have a Article 5 convention and make some laws without Congress being involved, and then make them obey the laws and be done with it.
Yeah.
And if that isn't the answer, I would like to know what the answer is, because you cannot get Congress to make laws for themselves.
Oh, and by the way, would you tell me, please, one of the main figureheads that is missing in action over all of this? Where in the heck is Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General?
Well, Jeff Sessions probably should be saying something, but at this point with the Justice Department, I think there's enough stuff going on with immigration and other things that they need to be just doing what they're doing. I want to know why Congress didn't say, wait a minute.
Yep.
You are coming in here and you're going to testify or you're going to be in jail. You choose.
What a mockery. What a mockery to the United States Constitution, our forefathers with the blood, sweat, and tears and the lives. What a mockery to our military of today and laws and regulations for some woman attorney to just basically sit back and say, no, I'm not going to show up. The rest of us would be hauled in there in chains if we had contempt for Congress like that.
Well, we would, and I'd like to know where's Trey Gowdy.
Yeah, I agree.
Trey Gowdy ought to have her in handcuffs and before Congress. You either go to jail or you testify. That's just the way it is. That you've got these people on these committees that, oh, I'm on this committee and so I can do this, and oh, I'm on this committee and I'm friends with him and he says I better not do this, instead of just saying, you know what, go by the law. This is the law. You're going to answer questions and then we're going to decide whether you were legal or not, and we're going to have a trial.
Rita, do you realize this half hour went faster than ever? And I really do appreciate your remarks. I don't want it to end. I've got a ton more things I'd like to ask you about, but I'm going to have to save it for next week. Stay cool. Have a nice day and a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next Thursday.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All righty. Take care. Rita Ramsey. Wow, did that go fast? Holy smokes. I'm hungry. I'm not going to lie. I had a little bitty bowl of cereal at 4 o'clock this morning, and right now I am. Yeah, you know where I'm headed. I'm starving to death. Absolutely. I know some great places to go there if you're hungry and starving to death, like the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. All the shakes and all the ice cream cones and all the hot dogs and chicken strips. Oh, my goodness. And those famous Farmer Brown burgers and fries. Oh, it's delicious at the AC Drive-In 601 East Main in Burley. Well, how about Taco Bandito? 2301 Overland in Burley, one of the greatest places in the world to get together with your friends. And they've got the breakfast burritos. Oh, listen to this. Scrambled eggs, bacon and sausage, cheese, onions, tomato sauce on a tortilla shell. Bring on the goodies. All the food great at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. And 2 locations of Burgers Etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And they've got that medium spicy chicken combo with fries and drink, only $5.99. Fresh strawberry shakes. And all the people so nice and so helping right there at both locations of Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. And don't forget, too, I'm drooling. Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. The patio's open for the summer and live music on the weekends from 6 to 9. And the delicious buffalo burgers and great, great salads. Oh, and try that new cheesy broccoli spud. Woo! It is good. All of that at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Along with all these other great businesses, if you're hungry and starving to death, I know some great places to go. I am hungry. Holy moly, can't wait for 11:01. We're going to take a little bit of a break right now, and then we're going to come back. We're going to have Cassia County School Days, and then we're going to have our business salute. We've got all kinds of things coming up for the next hour right here on Zeb at the Ranch. Don't go away. CBS News is next. Good morning. Welcome back to Zeb at the Ranch on a Thursday. And, of course, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley. Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. If you're getting ready for a road trip, you'd better get into your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers, like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. I I can't even imagine all the planning and everything that's taken place up at Oakley for Pioneer Days. Holy moly, are they going to have a lot of fun up there, not only next week, but starting this weekend. Yes, they've got the annual Bump and Rub four-cylinder car race. This is world famous. I'm telling you, Oakley Pioneer Days is going to kick off this weekend on Friday night, this Friday, the 13th, with the Calcutta at 6 p.m., racing at 7, and then tomorrow, or Saturday night, they're going to have more racing at 6 p.m., right there at the Oakley Rodeo Grounds. Woo! It is going to get wild. 2 big nights of Bump and Rub car racing. And for entries, contact Jeff Yeck at 670-1055. Don't you miss this. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then next week, all the festivities of Oakley Pioneer Days, looking forward with faith. And, you know, some of the great businesses over there that invite you to be a part of Oakley Pioneer Days include Smith's Cafe at 135 East Main in Oakley. They're open Monday through Saturday, 6:30 in the morning until all the customers are gone. They make their own hamburger patties, and they got the best burgers in the county. Get in there at Smith's Cafe, 135 East Main in Oakley. And Speaker of the House of Representatives, Scott Bedke. There is a great, great guy, rancher in Oakley, and he wants to invite everybody up to the 131st Oakley Pioneer Days. Great family Western traditions. Thank you, Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke. And everybody head to Oakley. It is going to be a lot of fun. Right now, we're going to get all set to go with our next program segment, and that happens to be Cassia County School Days. And we want to say thank you to our 2 big sponsors, first and foremost, and they are A Child's World at 1308 Overland and Burley. Don't forget, all the summer clothes are 25% off, and when you spend $25, you get to choose a free book. They've got all the games and the puzzles and the books and the baby furniture and clothing, everything. You stop in and see them today at A Child's World. And the other sponsor, of course, Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. The number to call for your outpatient surgeries, and let them save you money, 677-8888. That number again, 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center, along with The Child's World, now bringing you School Days in Cassia County. One of the nicest people that I've had on the program representing School Days in Cassia County is the Assistant Superintendent, Sandra Miller. And Sandra, if you're there, good morning, and thank you for being on the program.
Good morning, Zeb, and thank you. Thank you so much for hosting the program for us. It is very important that we have this communication possible for our community and our educational system here in Cassia County.
Well, a lot of people think wrongly that during the summer months, the teachers and the administration, they just go to some remote place and just sit back with no cell phones and don't do anything except sit in a lawn chair. But that's not really the case, because you're going to talk about an educator symposium that's coming up.
Yes, you're right, Zeb. Really, in a perfect world, educators would get some 3 months off in the summer, but that is not the case, because we spend a lot of time rejuvenating and doing research and getting ready for the upcoming year. But one event that we have hosted since I've been here in Cassia County, so this will be our, I think, maybe 4th or 5th one, and we call it our Educator Symposium. And it will take place on Monday, August 20th, and all of our certified teachers, it is a paid work day, and so they will all be at Burley High School. And we are right now in the process of putting together anywhere from 40 to 50 different breakout sessions that teachers can choose to attend based on their own individual learning plans and their own needs of what they feel like they would make them a better teacher.
Now, let's just assume for a moment that I was a history teacher at Burley, in the Burley Cassia County School District. What would I do? What would I expect? What would I learn or ascertain from this event?
Well, under the content area of social studies, we have several breakout sessions that you could choose from. We have a civics test that is required by the state of Idaho, and we do a breakout session on that so that we educate our teachers on what does that civics test look like, what knowledge do our students have to acquire in order to pass that test, when are we as a district going to be giving it if a student doesn't pass the test, what are their options. So we just educate our teachers on all of that. And there's several other breakouts. There's going to be a health and wellness strand. So a history teacher might want to be involved in one of those breakout sessions where we bring people in to identify signs in students who are struggling with mental health or physical health. I mean, there's just a variety. We do ethics for educators. So Idaho has a code of ethics, and I do a breakout session on that for anybody who would like to come.
Sandra, it sounds to me, and of course I'm not familiar with the programming and the scheduling, but it sounds to me that if a teacher wants to take in more than one breakout session, how are they going to do that all in one day?
Well, there are 6 different ones. So we start at 8 in the morning, and they're an hour long with a 10-minute, 5-minute passing period. So we do 3 different breakout sessions in the morning and 3 different ones in the afternoon.
Okay, but now how are these breakout sessions formulated to the point where, yes, they're going to discuss certain information, but are there going to be handouts? Are there going to be information manuals or whatever? Explain that.
Yes. So the presenters, a lot of our presenters are actual educators in our district. We love to tap into the talent we have here and the knowledge. So, number one, they can always reach out to that person. So, for example, if I'm doing one on ethics, I have a PowerPoint, and I have the Code of Ethics handbook that I give out. So there's those 2 things that my attendees that come to the ethics breakout session will get to take with them. But they also will be able to reach out to me and say, hey, I attended your ethics and I have this question or I have this situation or whatever it might be. So if we're doing technology, Google Classrooms, we have a few sessions on Google Classrooms. If they have a question after they leave the session, they have the resource of that teacher to get a hold of to say, hey, I still have a question. Can you help me? Can you run me through this? So it's nice to have those connections made.
Absolutely. But, you know, I noticed on one of the information sheets that Debbie Critchfield sent me, she said you will be discussing what they have planned and what their theme and goals are for this year. Do these teachers that come in attendance of this, are they to lay out kind of a goal sheet as to what they want to accomplish in the classroom?
Well, actually, I think she's talking about the goals of our educators symposium.
I see. Okay.
But every teacher, through their evaluation process, does lay out personal goals. It's called their individual personalized learning plan. And so they do have to do that, and we're hoping that they attend breakouts that will reflect their personal goal.
I see.
You know, what goal do I want? Do I want to learn more about reading student data and understanding it and making informed changes in the classroom? Then they'll want to take some assessment data strand breakout.
Okay. Now I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit.
Sure.
In your opinion, as being in education for many years, you're the assistant superintendent, etc., what do you think is lacking as far as promoting to our kids in education that's been kind of kicked to the curb a little bit? What subject or information do you think is lacking?
Well, you know what? I personally don't feel like we're lacking too much in information. I do think, though, with the changing landscape of education, I think we have to increase our awareness and student awareness of digital citizenship and media. Because we have changed so much over the past 10 years in education that students are using, social media as part of their education, and I feel like we have to step up our education of students and the, safety precautions, digital footprints, all of those kinds of things.
Now, in that, am I reading also by listening to you that we need to become better citizens and really understand our constitutional values and our historical values much better than we are now?
You know what? Yes, I think that would not hurt us to reinforce, to push those kinds of concepts with our kids. Absolutely.
That's the one area that I'm really shocked at, because I watch some of these TV interviews, and I'm not pointing the finger at all at Cassia County because I have the utmost respect for what you're doing. But the other night on television, they were doing some man-on-the-street interviews, and they were on a beach in California, and nobody that was about maybe 20 to 25 years of age had any clue about Independence Day or the value of July 4th, 1776. I mean, it was scary that these people are going to be the leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah, it is, and I tune into some of those. They have the late night people that ask who is the senator, who's this, who's that, and people really are unaware. So our social studies program is pretty in-depth here, and I know that we do a lot of current events and a lot of local Idaho, who's in charge, what do we do, and so they do a really good job of that. In our social studies program. But you're right, we have to continue to instill that in our students.
Let me ask you this, and I'm not pointing my finger again at anyone, Sandra, but I'm just stating, I think fact is that younger teachers coming out of a university atmosphere, I think they are almost as guilty as the students of not being prepared and not really knowing about our past, our history, and really what happened.
You know what, Zeb, you might be right unless they are a history major.
Right.
Then, of course, and my husband and I were just talking about this the other night, and we said, history is so much more interesting now that we're older than it was when we were in school. And for us personally, again, that is not a knock on any educational system. It's just being young as kids. I guess we don't quite see the value of it. We were taught it, but we didn't see the value of it until we've gotten older, and then all of a sudden it seems like it's so much more important, and we thought, geez, we should have had this attitude when we were younger.
History was my favorite course in high school and in college, and I just absolutely enjoyed every minute of it. And if you don't know your past and you don't know your forefathers and what they suffered for and died for, this country can make the same mistakes all over again. History repeats itself, and that's why I think it's so important to know.
I agree with you. And like I said, here we have flag education, we have Idaho history in the elementary. We have certain topics that we try to cover in elementary, but then really once the kids hit that, 5th, 6th through high school, then we have a very solid social studies curriculum that we have our students take. In fact, we have a class called Global Studies that most of the high schools in our surrounding area don't require, but we require that of our students.
I see. Is there anything that we've overlooked or not talked about regarding the August Educator Symposium?
No, it's just a magnificent day for our educators. The thing, a couple of the characteristics of it, we love that we have a lot of breakout sessions, because then our teachers can actually pinpoint what they want and what's going to make a difference for them. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. So that's very important to us. And we have been told by some of our fellow colleagues, our teachers, that it is really well organized, and it's one of the better trainings that they go to throughout the year. So that's nice for us.
Well, I tell you, I always enjoy talking to you because you're very straightforward, you're very informative. Sandra Miller, Assistant Superintendent of Cassia County Schools, thank you for being on the show once again. I really do thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll be on again this year, so we'll talk sometime in the future.
I'll look forward to it. Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Zeb.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
And, of course, Cassia County School Days brought to you by our two great, wonderful sponsors, and they are A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. The number to call, 677-8888. Wow, we are just about ready. As a matter of fact, I think we are. If Wheels has our next guest on the phone, do we have our business salute with Dr. Pickup?
Give me one moment, sir.
One moment is all you get, buckaroo. Okay, thank you very much. Coming up at 10:30, don't forget, we're going to go fishing with Josh at Sportsman's Warehouse. Oh, my, I'll tell you what, it's always exciting. He might be in a stream someplace. He might be at a lake. He might be at the river. And today he's over at Lake Walcott and fishing, and he's going to tell us exactly what he was fishing for and everything. That's coming up at 10:32 this morning. Don't you miss it. As I mentioned, our business salute, and I really have a lot of respect for this wonderful lady and her staff over at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. They have been with us on this program for a long, long time, and when it comes to hearing health, they are the ones to see and visit. Do we have the doctor ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. Lovely, lovely lady, Dr. Christine Pickup. How are you this morning?
I'm super. How are you, Zeb?
Not too bad. You know, you are just an amazing person, and I got to tell everybody at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, every time I go over there, I learn something new about hearing, and she knows all about sound and sound systems and what's good, bad, and ugly. Give us a little thumbnail sketch of what you do over at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids.
So if it has anything to do with ears and hearing, we take care of it. We've expanded our services. We now provide hearing care for infants up to as old as you get.
All right.
Until you don't need us anymore. How's that?
That sounds good. And let me ask you about the infants. I would imagine, and tell me how wrong I am on this, and Wheels, watch the feedback on the line just a little bit. I would imagine that with babies, it's got to be a little difficult to do the testing and everything because they can't tell you everything they're hearing or not hearing.
No. So we actually have a different method with infants. It's called auditory brainstem response testing, where we actually want them asleep, and we hook up a specialized EEG and put little headphones in their ears and then measure how the sound travels through the auditory system.
You lost me at the first part of that paragraph. How in the world does that work? I mean, this is a scientific breakthrough.
Well, it's been around for quite a long time, but the clinical applications keep getting better and better. But basically, sound travels, sound goes in the ear, goes up through the brainstem and to the brain, where the brain processes sound. And we know kind of the waypoints as it travels, and we know how to measure those brain waves very specifically to what somebody hears.
So you can tell with these tests, and I'm looking at a picture with the apparatus on an infant, you can tell with these tests and the brain waves and the sound and the electronics and everything, whether that infant is developing and or has a hearing problem, correct?
Yes, and so, and it really makes a huge difference in terms of a child's development. The sooner we get them hearing aids if they need them, the better their speech, better their language, better their development overall.
Oh, my goodness. Now, what about the business itself over there, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids? You are a hearing health expert, and you've expanded to where you've got more people working there, too.
We do. We've brought on a second doctor. Her name is Courtney Mitchell, and she is fabulous. I'm just so happy to have her with us. She's here 2 days a week. She lives here in Rupert, and she's still got young kids, so she doesn't want to work full-time yet, but we're just tickled to have her. She's wonderful with kids. She's great with adults. She's very passionate about helping people hear better.
Now, how long have you been over at your location, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room? How long has Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids been in existence?
4 years now.
And boy, I'll tell you, I can remember when I first talked to you on the phone and when you first started your business, and it just seems like you are just going like gangbusters, and I get calls every week in regards to people saying, boy, that Dr. Pickup is excellent. She's really helped me. What's the biggest part of your business? Is it the older, elderly people like myself, or is it kids? Tell us a little bit about that.
We take care of all ages. I wouldn't say one, we do see a lot of adults, but we have several children that we care for with varying degrees of hearing loss. I like to say that we are a full-service family hearing clinic. We take care of all ages.
When you say a hearing clinic, I mean, explain that a little bit. What services do you provide?
We do regular hearing testing for adults. We do more specialized stuff for older children, younger children, and infants. We do auditory processing exams. That is when there's a problem with how the brain uses sound. There are children that have normal hearing, quote unquote. Their ears are working fine, but their brain doesn't use the sound correctly. Actually, we see adults with that too. But we help diagnose that and get them treatment. We anything that has to do with hearing, so whether it's getting custom earplugs to use at your job, shooter's plugs for if you're a sportsman and want to protect your hearing, because we all know that shooting guns is not good for your hearing. Anything like that we take care of. We do fit a variety of different types of hearing aids. We are an independent clinic, which means we're not associated with just one brand. That gives you, as a patient, more options and better access to whatever is the best technology, because it changes over time.
One of the things you told me years ago was that a lot of people associate getting older or elderly. Oh, well, I lost my hearing. It's just a part of getting old. That's not the case, is it?
It isn't. Most hearing loss, almost every person that I see in the clinic that's an adult, the hearing loss is a result of noise exposure, and it can be years before it really starts to creep up. I actually went to a seminar a few weeks ago, and they showed the results of what happens to the hearing nerves, not the inner hair cells, but the nerves that are attached to it that send the sound up to the brain when they're exposed to noise. So they take these mice and they expose them to amazing amounts of sound, like a rock concert version or being around guns being shot, and then they age them out, and they still had quote-unquote normal hearing. The structures of the inner ear were okay, but half the nerve bundle was gone. And that's what noise does, is it disrupts how those nerves work, and they don't grow back.
I see. I learn so much from you every time I either stop in or have you on the radio. What are your hours over there, and how can someone make an appointment?
Well, we are here, at least one of us is here Monday through Friday. We see patients from 9 to noon and 1 to 5. We take an hour lunch. Our office number is 208-312-0957, and the lovely Katie will answer the phone and get you an appointment.
Dr. Christine Pickup, I salute you and I thank you for all the time that you've been on my program and all the great things you do for the community. Thank you for being on the radio program this morning.
Oh, thank you for the time. I just appreciate your friendship and your support.
God bless you, and thank you for all you do, and we'll have you back in the near future. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
What a nice lady. Dr. Christine Pickup over at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and the number to call, don't you miss it now, 312-0957. Right now, we're going to send it back over to Wheels at our main studio. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
I sit here in the studio and I talk to a lot of people of various topics, etc. But this next gentleman that I'm going to have on the program this morning, I'm envious of him because because every week on Thursday he's going out fishing. He knows more about fishing than I'll ever learn about. He's the fishing expert guru at Sportsman's Warehouse in Twin Falls, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin, and that's Josh. Josh, good morning to you. How are you?
Oh, good morning, Zeb. About ready for a nap.
Well, you know, a tough life, I know. Listen, I understand that you're back at Lake Walcott fishing this morning. What were you after, and how did you fare?
My son has a problem. He really likes fishing for catfish and bass because they pull line when we get a good one. And so I gave him the option of trying to go catch walleye or going out and catching a bass, and he decided for us, basically, that we were going to go chase bass. So we went over to the Smith Springs area this morning, left Twin Falls about 4:30 in the morning and got out there, and we're on our way back home now. But it was a good day. It was fast and furious. Once the sun hit the water, it slowed down. We got a little bit of wind, and it probably extended our bite for another 45 minutes or so, so we got to stay out a little later.
Now, explain that to me. You've got all the knowledge about what to do, what to use, best conditions, etc. Explain to me the fishing conditions that you look for that are going to be the most appropriate for you to get some fish.
Well, it all rolls into seasons. So, like right now, we're dead heart of the summer. We're into what we'd call a heart of the summer pattern, which a lot of it's going to be almost a night bite to like the twilight of the morning and evening. A lot of times I'd be at Salmon Dam pulling out at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and people would be putting their boats in going, "How was fishing?" I'd be like, "It's great." And they'd be all excited and never touch a fish all day long. It's more of there's a window of an opportunity to catch the fish, and if you put yourself in that opportunity, you're more successful.
How do you learn all?
In the heart of the summer, it's early morning and late evening.
Okay.
And judging by the mice that I've seen, there can even be a mouse bite in the morning and evening where a guy that likes to fly fish could drag a mouse and catch a fish.
Oh, my goodness. You know, where do they come up with these different graphs and different bars, and you see it on TV and everything, the best time to go fish, and, boy, the fish are going to be biting at 3 a.m. and maybe again at 7 p.m. How do they ascertain all that?
Well, it comes off of more of a moon table and the tides on the ocean and an assumption of just historically. But normally, like on a full moon, it will really push the bites early and late. And like on a new moon, you can have a little bit better bite through the daytime. And it's just more of a, you know, with the weather and everything, and the stars align, sometimes you can have an incredible bite, and sometimes you think you're going to have a great bite, and the wind's blowing the wrong direction. And that could be what all happens in an opportunity to go fishing.
Okay, now, for a guy that's a complete novice like I am, how do you tell someone like me what to do and how to fish in different water depths instead of just letting your lure or your worm or whatever just sink all the way to the bottom? What do you tell people?
Well, like today, the fish were shallow early, but they move off a shore, and if you don't have a boat, you can't really follow them to deeper water. And once that sun hit the water, the fish moved relatively deep. So that's why we went home early, is we couldn't pick up any more fish because we couldn't fish deep enough. And then it could be just one of those, like, for us, it was a pretty steady bite where you could just, like, cast and reel it in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were out deeper, you could throw it out, let it sink to the bottom, and maybe drag it. But
okay,
you'd have to have a float tube or something, depending on the depth of the water. Salmon Dam's a little different. You can get on some rock shelves that are from shore that are 20 feet deep and be able to fish them.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. Let's say that you're fishing at a lake, or if you're fishing in a river, whatever. You said when the sun comes up, you've got to really change your modus operandi to go catching them, and that water heats up, and they right away start heading for deeper water. Is that the main gist of what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. And like this morning, it was even color. Before the sun hit the water, me and my son were catching them on a dark pumpkin green. And as soon as the sun hit the water and the wind started blowing, my son changed to a black-back silver belly swim bait, and he started catching fish. And I was casting the same spot with the green bait, didn't catch fish, changed baits to what he was using, and started catching fish.
My. You know, I watched
bright colors on bright days and dark colors on dark days. If you're going to fish at night, you're going to use like black, purple, blue. If you're going to fish clear water on a bright sunny day, you're going to use silvers, pearls, something more natural that almost looks like a fish.
You know, I was watching one of the professional fishing tours on television, and I watched explicitly so that I could make some mental notes to ask you about. And these guys that are on those pro bass tours and everything, holy smokes, they're catching fish like crazy, and they really have to be a student of the game, if you will, to know about water temperature, water depth, and everything else. How do you learn all that stuff?
It's over time and being with good people, really. If you're really interested in it and you go out and you fish with guys that have been doing it a long time, you learn a lot from them, and you take what you know and you just give it your own twist. And you can do the same thing differently 100 different ways, and as long as it gets it done, it don't really matter as long as you enjoy catching fish.
Now, when people go into Sportsman's Warehouse and they, like me, haven't fished for a long, long time, and they're starting over in their life and they want to go catch this or they want to go catch that, you can kind of steer them into the right direction for what kind of tackle and everything to use. Break it down again. I know you did it on a previous program, but what do you tell people that just absolutely want to get back into fishing and they don't want to spend a whole bunch of money?
I just try to get them a nice medium action combo rod, something in that $50 to $60 range. Get them some good line, some good lures, and some good tips on where they're heading, and hopefully they read between the lines and get out there and catch a fish. And then with that pull, they're able to be flexible to where they can fish one area and maybe the rod's a little heavy, but be able to fish something maybe even heavier like a catfish.
Okay.
And then they might go out and buy another rod for a specific reason if they find one particular type of fishing they enjoy.
Let me ask you this, and I've always wondered this because I grew up back in the Midwest, and I have seen some awfully big catfish taken out of various rivers back there, including the Mississippi. What about the catfish out here? How big can they get?
I think the state record's 56 or 58 pounds out of Brownlee, where I was fishing about 4 or 5 weeks ago, it seems now. That's where the biggest one we caught in a week of fishing between 5 fishermen was 14 pounds.
Oh, my.
And that's about what we're usually expecting when we go there for our family vacation.
Are they the catfish, because they are, I'm assuming they're all bottom feeders somewhat, what's the meat like in midsummer? Does it get real sandy and grainy?
It gets a little bit yellow. You know, the spring fish are usually better than the fall fish. Basically, by the time the catfish get to the fall, they've tried to bulk up for winter, and they've got a lot of fat in their meat, and they're not as lean as they would have been in the spring.
Now, what about, you said that you switched locations this morning and you went to a different place. What were the water conditions there, and what was your luck like?
It was pretty good. We got 7 good fish that we got on camera. Got a couple videos of my son, but we just snuck to Smith Springs, looking at the way the wind had been blowing the last couple days and trying to pick a wind-swept bank that should have been fishable. The stars aligned pretty good, and being able to get on there and be able to put a few, I don't know, we probably caught at least 15 or 20 fish total between me and him.
Wow.
But yeah, it's one of those, that's the fun of fishing, is just going to a new area, trying to, guess. Google Earth is wonderful because you can get on there, you can look at it, watch the news at night, and kind of get an idea where you might want to put yourself strategically to be in a good spot.
Josh, tell everybody where you work at Sportsman's Warehouse. Give us the address, give us the hours, and tell them when they can come in and visit with you.
Oh, and we're at 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard there at Sportsman's in Twin Falls, Idaho. I'm at the fishing department in the back corner, but we got a lot of knowledgeable employees in the hunting and camping and gift bar, clothing. Our hours are going to be 9 to 9, Monday through Saturday. Sundays 10 to 6, 10 to 6.
Well, I want to tell you, you really piqued my interest this morning with this program, and water conditions, weather conditions. Man, I got a lot to learn, and you know it. Josh from Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. Hey, man, thanks. Have a great week, and I'm looking forward to next Thursday.
Oh, yeah, hopefully we go out to Salmon Dam, it sounds like. My son really wants to just go catch a walleye, so we're going to probably try that out next week, and thank you again, Zeb.
All right, my friend, thank you. Excellent people at Sportsman's Warehouse, and there's just one of them right there, Josh, the fishing expert, and this program called The Old Fishing Hole, sponsored by Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. Man, he makes it sound easy. I've never caught that many fish in my life. I'm telling you what, I've got a lot of respect for him. It's time for the weather, and the weather brought to you by Scarro's Meats. Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome, and the telephone number to call, 324-7657. Oh my goodness, if you've got some barbecue plans for the weekend, I know where you should go, and that's the Scarro's Meats. Marinated pork ribs for only $1.99 per pound. Ooh, they've got all kinds of barbecue packages over there. You better check it out. And don't forget, they've got tri-tip. Oh, melt in your mouth, delicious. Along with all the different breakfast bacons and sausages and bratwurst. It's all there for you to enjoy at Scarro's Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. That number again, 324-7657. Right now, here's Scotty with the weather.
No reprieve from the heat. Good morning with your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron. Sunny for today. Going to see a high around 89. Wind will be calming down, however. Clear skies for tonight with a low of 53. Sunny and 91 on Friday. Friday night going to be mostly clear, a low of 55. Warming up just a bit on Saturday. Sunshine and 95. Partly cloudy for Saturday night, a low of 60. And then for Sunday, sunny, a high of 92. As we come back to work on Monday, we'll see sunny skies and a high of 92 as well. That is your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast. I'm Scotty Cameron. Have a great day.
Scotty, thank you, and brought to you by Scarro's Meats. Don Scarrow and the rest of the crew, you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Delicious, delicious meats. As a matter of fact, they are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time, thanks to Scarro's Meats. Wow. I have enjoyed the program today. We've had some outstanding guests and segments and everything, and I really appreciate it. How about giving me a call quickly if you've got anything you want to throw in for a minute or two, and we'll talk about any subject you want at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And a reminder, if you want to have a lot of fun this Friday and Saturday night, head up to Oakley for that bump and rub car race. I tell you what, rules, I don't know, but it's a lot of fun to watch and take it all in. It's part of a kickoff for the Oakley Pioneer Days that's going to run all next week. Really good, folks. All right, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. The relaxing of regulations and things in the military, they bother me a little bit. I noticed there was a story, a real small story in the paper this morning, that the United States Navy says it will now allow service women to sport ponytails and other hairstyles, reversing a policy that long forbade women from letting their hair down. And that's going to open up the door for more controversy. It's going to open up the door for more allowables in the Navy and probably other branches of the service. Many black women had asked for changes to the female grooming standards, and with all the afros and everything else, now I think the Navy is opening up, like I said, a door of real problems. Stick with the regulations. Stick with the stringent requirements. Stick with what has made you great. Why bend and why allow things to change that are going to cause problems? I just don't understand it. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. As you know, earlier this morning, I did try to get a hold of the University of Wyoming professor, Christine Porter, that has made a lot of waves, along with another guy that's on the faculty over there, Donald O'Toole, and they've come out against the slogan of the University of Wyoming, "The world needs more cowboys." And I took it as a personal insult because I'm very happy and proud of the last 50 years of my life being around the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, the contestants, the people, the committees, and I was highly offended when a person like Christine Porter, whom I called earlier this morning and have invited on the program. I left a message and gave her my cell phone number and everything, would like to have her on this show. And I'm going to see if she has the backbone to come on this program and try to defend her remarks, saying that, for me, the clearest reason it's unacceptable that the word boy is used, excluding anyone who identifies as female. There we go with the non-gender people, and she is one of them. And I'm going to see if we can get her on the program and have her really discuss the common sense to what she's trying to do. The University of Wyoming, as I said earlier, I'm very proud to know many of their graduates, and they have nothing at all to be ashamed of with the logo of cowboy. And I'm also going to try to get some graduates on my program this next week. So hats off, and I mean that, to the University of Wyoming and their slogan, "The world needs more cowboys." I asked my dear friend Wheels over at the station if he had a song for us. I asked him to play a specific song and kind of wrap up the program this morning. So I'm going to turn it over to him right now with a song that Willie Nelson made pretty famous called "My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys." Before he starts it up, I'm going to tell everybody to stay tuned next week. Don't forget, Zeb at the Ranch on Monday at 8:06, and the way things were are the way things ought to be, and the world does need more cowboys. Wheels, how about Willie, if you would, please?